Welcome back to the episode 4 of Clippercast. I'm your host Ben,
Co-host Briar Watson.
and today we have Mr. Harrison. So, if you want to give a proper introduction, how long you been at Martin and what you teach at Martin?
I've been here. This is my eighth full year, and I teach woodshop, middle school and high school, so 7th grade to 12th grade.
Okay. When did you start teaching?
I started the last marking period, 2017.
17. So you've been here for almost 10 years now.
It's getting close to it.
The last
Yeah.
marking period. So you're like end of the year.
Yeah. So I came in for a week, and then we went on spring break. That was a pretty good deal. Came back and finished the year out because we'd been at a time where a previous teacher had retired,
Mm-hmm.
and then they hired a guy, and then he went away, and they hired another guy. He went away, and then we tag teamed with some substitutes for a while, and then my kids were going to school here at the time, so and my wife was on the school board, so I had seen these. They kept asking for it, and I applied, and off we went. And I wasn't a teacher before that,
Mhm.
but I had been an instructor in my time in the military, so it kind of led to it. And because it's tech ed, it wasn't a core class. It was a little different for the certification. So it worked out well for me.
So what did you do? You served in the military for how long?
22 years,
22 years.
active and reserve. About 14 years on an active, and then about 7.5 in the reserve.
And what did you do as your time in the military?
So I started off when I first enlisted. I was on the aviation side. I was a parachute rigger, and then I got a cool program, and it took me to school. Took me to school to become so I could go to get commissioned.
Mhm.
So it got me to college. I went to college in Memphis, and 4-year degree down there in architecture. And then I was off to be an officer. And I was served on a ship, and then served as an instructor. And I wanted to do something else. I wanted to get into Seabees, and the career planners of the Navy said, "Well, we'd really like you to do something else. We'd like you to do this." I said, "Well, I've done enough for the Navy for right now. I think I'd like to do this." They said, "No, we're going to go this way." I said, "Well, I guess I'll get out." So it's about the 14-year mark, and you need to get 20 for retirement. So I came back here, and I never thought I'd be back in West Michigan. And here I am, and got a job working at a factory as a facilities engineer, and then worked for a restoration company, water damage, fire damage, that kind of stuff. Then worked for a historical restoration company. And then by the time before I started working here, I was working at Western as a project manager in facilities construction.
Well,
Sweet.
what inspired you to teach at the high school level, or was it just a job opportunity that you wanted to take, or?
I've always been, I've done a lot of DIY stuff myself. So a lot of projects at our house. We live in an old farmhouse. We put a wraparound porch on it. We did all the remodeling in it. And I dabbled in woodworking, and I'd always liked it. And it was just an opportunity that popped up. And it really wasn't, it wouldn't have, it had to be, I wasn't going to come teach English. I wasn't going to come teach math. It wasn't something core. It was something like that, tech ed stuff. So there's been such a shortage of tech ed teachers that they've allowed them to teach in a temporary status until you get your certification. So I did that. I got my master's from Western during COVID. So my graduation was on my front porch, and then along with that came my certification. So that happened in 21.
So quite the journey. Did you kind of in the military? Did you travel around a lot? Like did you see going to like different countries?
Oh, yeah. So my first posting was with a squadron in Brunswick, Maine, patrol squadron, big aircraft, 4 engines, and they hunt submarines.
Oh, really?
And during this time frame, this is a while ago. During this time frame, we worried about submarines from Russian subs, so we did a lot of that stuff. So the East Coast was up in Maine, and we did a cross deck deployment. So we have to go to Okinawa. So we left Maine in February, and we showed up in Okinawa 22 hours later, and it's nice and balmy. A squadron out of Lemoore, California, had to go from Lemoore, California, where it was nice, to Keflavik, Iceland, in February. So they call it a cross deck deployment. So we went over there, 6-month deployment. Then I went to that school I was talking about in San Diego, and then I went to college. And then when I was on a ship, I was in Charleston or a little base that's no longer there in Ingleside, Texas, outside of Corpus Christi, a little bitty base. Because the ship that I was on was really small. It was a minesweeper, a mine countermeasure ship. So it's about 82 guys, 200 feet long, made out of wood. You know, because you want to have as much of a non-magnetic signature as possible when you're going after mines. Okay, so that again, that ship was developed for some very specific threats that we were facing in the Cold War, and so it was really good at those. And then those have gone away, so the ships are no longer in the fleet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What's some advice for someone that's wanting to join the Navy?
I can't dissuade you from it. I'd recommend it. If I had to do it over again, I'd probably go in the Air Force. The quality of life is a lot better, and they give a lot more responsibility at a younger age and a lower rank. It's always I still make fun of them,
Yeah.
but I still think that the old joke is that they build an Air Force base, and the first thing they do is put the golf course in, then the officer club, and they say, "Oh, we need some more money. Why? We need to put in the airstrip." We forgot that part. So. But I would recommend it, and I'd be glad to talk to anybody who wants to talk about it.
Right here, if you're interested into going into the Navy or anything, Mr. Harrison is willing to talk to you about it. So you'll find him in the halls asking for time to talk about it.
And did you grow up around this area then?
I did.
You
I
did?
started off in Plainwell
Mm-hmm.
and moved to Wayland. I graduated from there, and that's where I left and went to the Navy. And I never thought I'd be back. I thought I was going to be gone and around the world, because I'd basically gone around the world in the Navy. I thought I'd come back here.
Was Wayland a big high school, like even back then?
It was decent size. I had about 125 in my class,
Wow.
just the senior class.
Do you see the difference between like a bigger high school and like
Oh yeah.
Martin size?
Oh yeah. There was very little of commingling of classes. So freshmen were together, sophomores were together, juniors, and even in classrooms, but especially in the hallways and stuff, it was you were in your own little area. You didn't really.
Did they also have a woodshop class over there?
They did not. They
No.
didn't have woods in high school. They had 2 different auto shops, and they had a small engine repair, but they didn't have that.
I wish we had auto shop. I mean,
It kind of shifted though, Ben. The theory on that education model has shifted. So that's why we have the tech. That's why we have the
Tech center.
Yeah, the
Yep.
independent school district. That's why the tech center, all that stuff there. So a lot of schools, this one included, had a building trades school, and that was a half a day class. You went in the morning or you went in the afternoon, but you did stuff here, or you're at the house that they were building. There are houses up and down 10th Street that this high school built and sold to somebody in the community.
Wow.
That they've sold to. It did the same thing in Plainwell. That's it. All these kind of places did that. It was kind of neat. It's kind of a neat project.
yeah. Talking about projects, do you remember your very first project that you ever did?
My very first woodshop project was a footstool, and it was interesting because it ended up being my JV baseball and JV basketball coach, Mr. Risley, and it was in Wayland at in the middle school, and you had to go across the street to the shop because how old the building was, and we went in there and it was a footstool, and we actually had to do padding and upholstering on it too. So we had to bring in some kind of fabric for that and some kind of batting to make it for a padding kind of thing. So we had that. That was in Wayland. In Plainwell, when I was in 7th grade, we had a little bit of a shop because back in those days, you went to shop for part of the semester in middle school, and the other part, you went to home ec. So there's a lot of stuff I learned in home ec that I still to this day do: how to wash dishes, how to wash clothes, how to cook, different things. Because it's just really good instruction on how to do these things.
Sorry to interrupt, what are your thoughts on some of the schools getting rid of home ec? Like, we had a home ec room here
Right.
when my dad was in school, and it's just kind of faded away.
Right. Again, it went towards the centrally located our county independent school district kind of thing. So there's culinary there, right?
Yeah.
And there's
that's what I'm in.
that's
That's
your
very
end.
fun. So.
But they also have other portions too that kind of make up for it. That do that, and they also had the opportunity to offer things that they couldn't have before, like the health program and the criminal justice stuff, but they couldn't have it in high school, especially a high school of this size.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, now if you want to switch up the topics a little bit, and you go to the game on Friday,
I
Martin
did.
versus Gobles.
I sure did. Yeah, I was there. Quite a surprise. I was expecting a little bit more of a contest.
Yeah, I mean they were ranked first, so I thought they were going to be at least somewhat of a challenge, at least a closer game, and not just them scoring on a kick return.
Well, that was we scored on 5 or 6 plays, and then the kick return they scored. That potential to be a real stinker.
I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
My thoughts after the kick return they had, I was like, oh, this is gonna be a long night.
Yeah.
And then we just pulled away.
One stat that I like that I kind of gathered from where I was sitting was that they attempted 5 forward passes. Their receivers dropped 2, and we caught 3 of them. So that's not good for your passing.
No.
Your passing
We-
stats.
We kind of knew. So our game plan is we know that Gobles, Gobles runs a certain kind of offense, and they gain 3 yards a carry. They gain a little yards at a time. But when you break that down and make them have to spread out, then you know, okay, like we're breaking this team down.
Their
to the
formations were really tight. I noticed that their formations
point.
were extremely tight. They didn't have anybody out. They were running five guys on the line most of the time. I really like that one trickery play you had with Weston, that big counter. That was a pretty good one. Yeah, that was a
We
nice
ran
play.
that.
Did you just put that in? Was that in for? Or did you have it before?
I think we had it last year, but we only ran it like once.
Well, when you
or
loaded everybody up
twice.
on the right side, and I don't know who was playing guard on the left side, but it was like out there. Yeah.
Gruber's out there.
I think it was a counter last year. I don't think it was a trap.
I don't know.
We ran it as a trap this year, and last year we had one. We had a trap behind the quarterback, or a counter behind the quarterback, and then we had a counter in the same formation that we had last night, or not last night, Friday. But we ran it. We kind of ran it a little differently, but we knew all week that play was going to work.
So it makes me wonder about their schedule previous to playing us. How rough it was.
Yeah.
Because they didn't win by little. They were pretty good. Which also makes me concerned of how we're going to find some competition.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Till it means something. And I also caution you that the hardest thing to do in a season is beat the same team twice. Nobles hasn't done it in the last 3 years.
Mhm.
No.
They beat us in the regular season, and then we beat them in the playoffs.
Playoffs.
So you have to keep that in mind. So
I
don't rest on your laurels if you see them again.
Yeah, I have a very good feeling we may not even see them again. And by the looks of it, we might get pushed to the North region for playoffs.
Yeah.
So
It's all pretty
time
early,
will
but-
tell.
Yeah.
But
But one
hopefully,
site has us a little different.
yeah,
But yeah.
But-
There's a lot to do before we start thinking about that.
yeah.
In, I want to get your opinion as an outsider, looking in at all the game scores at like Martin. Do you think as an outsider we have a chance of going up to Marquette again? Do you think we're headed up there?
I have a couple of concerns, but I don't. The epitome, the 22 team. There was no stopping that team.
No, they had size, speed, everything.
Everything. It was going to happen.
Yeah.
Right. It was going to happen. And even the hiccups with Bridgman and North Point, that didn't. It mattered, but it really didn't. It gave us. It actually. I hate to say it, but it actually tempered you guys a little bit to know what defeat tasted like.
Mhm.
Okay, to get you a little more ready to go. So if things fall right, I never thought 23. I never thought 23 was going to happen. Not just the game, not just that game, but to get there. But things just fell in the right way because we had every playoff game was away because of our schedule, and it was so we had to work.
I think everyone but the first.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
We had
Right.
the
Yeah,
first
okay,
one
yeah.
home, and then
last year was everyone was away.
Yeah, last year was all away, but yeah.
And then the comeback we had in the 23 game, that was crazy.
I almost left. I was ready to go. I was there with my wife, and she was going to ride back with a band on the bus because she had to do something on Sunday, and I was going to stay, regardless of what we did, And it got to be the fourth quarter, and it was looking pretty stinky. And I said, I'm not checked out of the hotel yet, but I think we'll just go. I'll just go and get my stuff, and we'll eat the cost for that, and we'll just drive home together. And then Halen Buell stepped in front of that pass, intercepted it. I said, wait a minute, hold off on that a second. And then things just kept going. And
and then we had the onside kick.
Oh man. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Once you get of age, Ben, you won't have to buy beer for quite a while. That was quite the deal. Once you get of age, that's
Yeah.
gonna be your use Mikey. That was something.
Yeah, for
Everything
sure.
just fell right, and you know, the year before, the fans we ran into from the other team was different. Inland Lake people weren't that bad. They
No.
were decent.
Yeah.
I felt bad for the woman who brought the church in a little early.
Yeah.
That was a little rough. And they were walking around dazed. They didn't know what happened. They
was
thought that
just
was done. And I'm
one of
really
those
disappointed
things.
that there wasn't more coverage from downstate media about that, because it's still, it's just, you know, you're 5 seconds left when he runs across the end, running across the goal line. That's just, you know, you make that stuff up.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna remember that game forever.
Yeah,
so.
that's a core memory moment.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know, and you guys got a really special opportunity to get those 2 in a row, because you know, you
Yeah.
talk to the team. I used to talk to the '87 team whenever I get a chance to. I talk to Coach Hunt. I talk to Tracy
Yeah.
Hildebrand. Talk to them about just pick their brains about what was going on. You know, how was that? You know, and how it was set up, and you know, it was kind of a dominant team. Also, it was kind of a done team. I remember Tracy saying that they got beat by Schoolcraft down there, like last game of the season. No one wanted to get on the bus. They wanted to keep going in the parking lot. And the coach said, "Don't worry, we'll see these guys again. Get on the bus. We'll go home. We'll be good. We're fine." And sure enough, they did, and they beat them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got to understand what an opportunity that is, that you guys have had. Now you've had that taste twice, you know. And last year could have been another one.
It sucks, losing. So nobody likes losing. But
What are your thoughts on if you were to compare last year's team compared to this year's team? Do you think that this year's team is better than last year's team?
I think this year's team is a little more. It's not as. I don't want to offend anybody. It seems to me more. It goes right along with your blue collar stuff. More workman like. You guys, everybody's pulling. Everybody's going the same. You know, it's not as much. There's not as many stars. Everybody's kind of the same, and pulling and
Yep.
pushing pulling the same rope and pushing the same sled. You know, which is a good thing to do. I was really happy with your guys' attitude with Goebbels. The week before was a little rough to watch. Some parts of it. That was a little. There was some issues that with class that we could work on.
for sure. Yeah.
I know you guys did.
Yep.
I heard that football practice actually became a little track practice on Monday.
Yeah.
Is that
a little bit.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not.
It
It's not
came
like
a
that
little-
today because
Yeah.
it's only an hour practice. But I'm just hoping the coaches are in a good mood and
Yeah.
it's just a little Monday slow day. But then that means next couple of days, next Tuesday and Wednesday, we're gonna have to push each other, hit each other hard, and just go from there. And hopefully not.
And then it becomes an issue of everyone staying healthy
Yep.
Mhm.
and getting, because you got to understand, because the way you guys set up since 21 or 22, everybody's bringing their best game. Everybody's bringing their best game for Martin.
Mhm.
This is their big deal. They get a chance to poke you in the eye, they're going to do it.
Do you think the community plays a big role in that, as in like supporting the football
Oh
team?
yeah. And like I heard Mr. Curry last week, even when it was down and out, the community's still been here. And somebody made an observation Friday at Gold that it was pretty close to the same amount of fans in the stand.
Speaking of that, I was not expecting to it was packed.
Yeah.
I was not expecting to turn around, and we had
Felt like we were
literally
at home.
It
It
felt like we were at
It
home.
looked like
The
it.
crowd felt like we were at home. Every big play, it just felt like
Sounded
we were on our
crazy.
home
Yeah.
field.
Yeah.
Like I think I turned around after that first touchdown when Halen broke free, and everybody was on their feet,
Yeah.
and I was like, wow, like this is a 30-minute drive, and everyone's showing up. And like even last year when we played All Claire, it was still packed.
Which is hard because there weren't
Yeah.
much bleachers there.
There
was a lot
was
of standing,
a lot of
bringing their
standing
own
room
chairs
and people sitting in the back of trucks, and it was like it was still packed.
Talking
So-
about Eau Claire, if you're planning on pulling up to the game this Friday which is kickoff at 7, please bring your own chair and just bring something where you can sit uncomfortably for about 2 hours because they have no bleachers there.
It was awesome.
I don't know what the student section theme is. We'll probably see that on our Instagram and probably our TikTok too. But yeah, back to Briar.
But yeah, it was the community is I think the biggest part, a big part of Martin football, 100%.
Because so back to my high school days. So I came from Plainville, and Plainville at the time was a real big power in the area. If I'd have played, say, to Plainville and played there, I would have played for the same coach my dad played for in the 50s.
Uh-huh.
Jack Streidel was there then, and he would have been there. He was there after I graduated. So I'm going from Plainville to Wayland, and it was also a really weird time when millages and money wasn't doing a whole. It wasn't so great, and I showed up there for watching my first varsity football game. And they scored a touchdown. The place went nuts. I said, "What's going on here?" I said, "Well, it's their first touchdown in 2 games." He says, "This is only the first game of the." Oh, are you kidding me? The last 2 years we got shut out. Yeah, the last 2 games of last year we got shut out. Yeah, we were shut out. So, and our teams were they were. I like to tell people we were small, but we were slow. So we weren't good. We'd get 2 or 3 wins, and but we were small, competing with a lot of Grand Rapids schools, going to Forest Hills Northern, going to Canelo Hills, going to all these different places. Because a part of the OK League, we were an OK Red or OK Green, and we just had there's just a lot of talent up there that we couldn't get close to.
Well, who was your rivalry school?
Middleville.
Middleville
Was a big deal.
So those games were packed then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those were big deals. And the one year I remember I was a sophomore, but the varsity, and it was interesting, is that our head coach in Wayland was the son of the head coach in Middleville. Bob White in Middleville, Rob White in Wayland. Rob White played 4 years of varsity football, 4 years of varsity basketball, 4 years of varsity baseball, and ran track, and went to Michigan, played football. He was intense. So, and he had a lot of little tricks up his sleeve. So we warmed up at our field in Wayland, put everybody on a bus, and drove to Middleville for the game. And Middleville was wondering, where's the team? Where are they coming? It's quarter till and nobody showed up yet. They roll off the bus, flip the coin, let's go. And it was interesting because in Sports Illustrated did a little coverage on it, and that little in the crowd thing that was really cool, showing the father versus son thing. And Wayland came out ahead on that one. It was interesting. But that was our big rivalry.
Yeah.
Plainville Otsego, same kind of thing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, was that rivalry even bigger back then than it is now? Because I know now, like I see it on like social media, it's like a big rivalry. But
Plainville Otsego?
Yeah.
Oh, it was huge. Yeah, that was, everybody lived for that. Yeah, and yeah, that was. I mean, there were pranks and downright nasty things done before.
I heard they did something to their field or whatever.
Yeah, they sprayed. It was either fertilizer or weed killer. One of the schools put their initials. Their OHS put it in Plainville's, or PHS put it in PH. They put it in their, like 3 or 4 days before the game. So then you show up at the game,
and it's dead.
and you've got their and then there was another one where one of the schools dropped a load of fresh manure right in front of. I mean, not a pickup truck, a big load right in front of the doors to get into the school. The main door. So they were pretty big. Yeah. It was a big deal.
So though that rivalry goes back.
Yeah, I forget, it's hundreds, in the 100 range, I think. And I guess I can equate ours would be Gobles. Wayland, we always started off the first game of the year for years was for the Cowbell, and it was Caledonia. Back then, Wayland and Caledonia were about the same size. They're not now, but they were about the same size. And we played for this Cowbell trophy. And if you won it, you bring that thing for a year, just because you got to keep it, and you brought it back to the next game, and whoever won gets to keep the trophy. That kind of a thing.
Yeah, that's nice. Going back to your the teaching topic, what's an advice you would give to someone that's in college right now, going for that engineering degree or like craftsmanship?
I don't give up on it. Keep there's a lot of tradespeople are needed.
For
For
sure.
That's a big hurt right now, right? You hear people talking about all these trades guys they're retiring.
Yeah.
So we need to replenish that. And it's also a nice way to make a nice living. And part of it was the tradespeople's fault because they would say, well, I'm not making my kid do this. I'm a plumber. I'm making a pretty good living. We go on vacation every year. I put my kids through college, but he's going to go to University of Michigan to become a nuclear engineer. Kid, okay, Dad. So if he goes to school, who knows? He might have been the next best plumber or carpenter or whatever. Because there was also the stigmatism that was there was this bad idea that it wasn't a good job. Blue collar and this. These are just service jobs aren't good.
No,
we don't want to do that.
No,
but the big thing is, college isn't made for everybody, and not everybody's made for college. I didn't start out that way.
No, yeah. Do you think AI plays a big role in why people are retiring, or like technology now than what it used to be back then, and why there's more older folks in that field?
I don't really know. I don't know. I think we're just scratching the surface on AI stuff.
Yeah.
I went to a trade show this summer, and one of the seminars I attended was bringing AI into the wood shop, and it was amazing to watch the presenter go through it. And I wondered why does this AI is taking up so much power? Well, she put in this query into this AI site. It was a type in, it wasn't a talk to, and it was design a piece of furniture known by a designer, Green and Green. Design a green and green end table and show dimensions. And then she kept talking to us. And then she brought up the part of the screen that shows the code being written for all this stuff. And you see it flying up the screen, just flying around. And you think, oh, that's something. The amount of AI that I use right now is, hey Siri, what time do the Lions play tonight?
Yeah.
But that is AI.
Yeah.
You don't realize when you do a little query like that, even when you tap it in, either your computer or your phone, and you tap that in, that first blurb that comes up is AI. I understand that you can get it to not do that.
Yeah.
But so that's somewhere a server farm is burning up some kilowatts to get that back to you that they're playing at 7:00 in because that's what time they always play.
Yeah.
So, and there's also some really interesting parts of it that it gets wrong. That it's like, that doesn't make a
like
whole
my
lot of
homework
sense.
sometimes gets wrong and just stuff like that. So I don't know. AI's got to get fixed or something.
The one that I saw recently was interesting. Was that they asked AI to design a new leg design for a cornhole board.
Yeah.
And it was awful. It didn't work. How they have the two flip up legs but they had them crossed in the middle, so it was tipping. But AI doesn't care about cornhole.
No.
It doesn't have no idea about that. So we got to at least temper it too a little bit and know exactly. You got to check it.
I think AI's got I don't want to say a long way because AI is so advanced now, but I feel like it's got a long way in some aspects to get to where everyone thinks it's going to take over jobs and stuff. But I think AI helps people with work for sure, like in jobs, but I don't think it's at the point, and I don't think it will be at the point for a long time to take over jobs and start making people
I only asked that
for at least a long time.
I only asked that because I know robots can now weld, so that's a big thing. Like instead of someone welding pipe or doing just stuff like that, they can just have a robot do it.
Yeah.
So
the CNC router in the shop. That's a little bitty thing.
Yeah.
That one's 22 inches by 22 inches.
But at the same time, you have this robot or the CNC machine doing this thing, but you also have someone behind it pushing a button for the robot to weld or typing in the code for the CNC machine. So you still need like human to activate the AI. AI is not smart enough, I don't think, yet to get to the point where it can just put in code by itself.
So would you I think Briar has a question about college. So
So I never thought I'd end up in Memphis, but it was a Navy thing. It was Navy had an ROTC unit.
You went to
college.
Memphis,
It
Memphis.
was Memphis State. Now it's University of Memphis. So I've had MSU and then U of M. So, but it wasn't
the same thing.
the cool ones,
Mm-hmm.
So it was Memphis State back when. So Anthony Hardaway was at school when I was there. That's how long ago it was.
Wow.
Yeah, I had a class with him. It was a swimming class. It was interesting to watch him swim. because he's not a very strong. He's not a very big lad. He's tall,
Mm-hmm.
but he's not very broad. But so he's in Navy ROTC down there, and a lot of the guys I was with, we played rugby for the
You
college.
you played rugby at Memphis?
4 years
Wow.
college rugby. Yeah. Go to couple
Rugby
different
school.
places.
I'd like to play rugby.
I've heard on like social media that football is more dangerous than rugby.
There's some differences to it. Definitely, you take because when I grew up, we played a different bit of football. My helmet looked like the opponent's colors by the time I was done. You didn't have to, like now you got to see what you tackle. It wasn't that kind of tackling back then. It was a little different. Had a great big roll under my on my shoulder pads. But in rugby, you can't. You take away a guy's helmet, you take away a lot of his being
Pads
real ornery with people.
Yeah.
So you learn how to tackle the right way. You learn how to tackle so you're not going to get hurt also. And it's everybody says, well, he looks so rough. There's some rough points to it. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of interesting things go on at the bottom of that pile that you really want to talk about. but you got to get the ball, so you got to make things happen. But what's really interesting is that since I left, one of the guys I played with, the guy who got me to start, he went back there after he retired from the Navy also. He went back there and started a program up with the high schools in the area and started up a really cool inner city rugby program, and then that fed into the college team, and they've been in the national championship the last 3 years for their division. Division, yeah.
What
but it's still
division?
a club. It was a club sport. It
Yeah.
wasn't like so we played our own way. We went someplace. You drove yourself. If somebody had to wash the jerseys at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Somebody got the bag, go to wash the jerseys, and they were nasty. They're awful. Because back then they were great, this great big long sleeve, heavy cotton, and you play in the rain or you play whatever.
Besides all this teaching and like you're just teaching stuff, what are some hobbies out of school that you have? What do you do on your free time?
I really enjoy the woodworking stuff. I do a lot. I've got a home shop, and I sometimes linger around here and do some stuff. But I really do enjoy that. I haven't got sick of it yet, and I haven't got enough that I don't want to do it. I keep thinking of things that I want to build, either for myself or for other people.
Yeah.
What was one of your favorite projects that you've built, like recently, or since you've been in the woodworking?
I'm real happy with the benches that we produced last year. That have been around the school.
Yeah.
And right now in the middle of building a table and a bench for the elementary library. So that'll be kind of cool to put that in place there. It'll be kind of neat.
Now, what's a project that went horribly wrong? Like that just didn't work?
There's a lot. There's a lot and there's not many that go completely as planned. And that's one of the neat parts about woodworking. You have to adapt and make sure you
make it work. Basically,
yeah, you make it work. And unless I point it out to you, it's like,
yeah,
oh, I didn't notice that. There's a lot of it like that. You do something wrong, but there's a way to get around it. You make the hole a little bigger, you make the hole a little smaller, or you put another piece of wood in it, or you put you make a cover for it where it wasn't. You just got to adapt to it.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't done much woodwork stuff because the last time I was in woodshop or in your class was 6th grade or 7th grade. I don't know which one it was.
I think it was COVID, wasn't it? And we didn't get to finish this semester.
No, we did not.
We got about to get started.
Shut us down.
We're gonna be gone for 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
We're only be gone for 2 weeks.
No, and then turned into about
the rest of the year. What is one of your favorite podcasts besides the Clippercast?
Was and number one.
What are some of your favorite podcasts?
I listen to a couple of woodworking podcasts that I really like. The Woodshop Life is one it's every other Friday though. It's 3 guys who get together and talk about 2 guys out of Indy and 1 guy's out of Alabama, and they talk about it. What that one's cool is because they take questions from listeners. The listeners will send in an email with a question. I've had 3 or 4 questions I pose to them. And then there's another one that's done by there's a magazine called Woodsmith, and they have one. They're guys who do the TV show. They also do, and actually 2 guys are on talent, and 1 guy is the guy who does all the work behind the scenes. And those 3 guys do one, and that's every week. And I listen to that quite a bit.
Yeah,
sounds good.
I think I got all my questions in.
Did you have any questions for us before we finish off here?
What are your guys' attitude or thoughts about? I know you're sitting here 5-0.
Yeah, 4-0.
3
4-0.
4-0.
About going to week 5.
Yep.
and you've been around for the two other. What are you seeing? And no two teams are the same
No.
from the years.
Yeah.
Because 22 is different from 23
Oh,
and the
for
last
sure.
year completely. What are you seeing? What's the pulse of the team?
We want it more. We have something to prove because last year Mendon, that game was
I'm still mad about that.
yeah.
I'm still.
I mean,
I'm
who
still
isn't?
Yeah, it was should have been our game, but hey, what can we do about it? It's in the past. The only thing we can do is learn from it, improve every day, and just be better than what it is. But I just think this team wants it more than anything because we just want to prove ourselves from last year.
Mm-hmm.
So that's I don't know. I just think we just want it more than any other team.
Yeah, I think he's right. I don't know. I looking at 23's team, and 23's team was good. Everything kind of just, I don't want to say it happened, but like it just, I felt like everyone almost thought like, oh, Martin's gonna win again.
For
Like,
sure.
I just think everyone was like, Martin's gonna win back to back. And then when we were losing in state, everyone's like, oh no, it's not gonna happen. And then it happened. We won. And then year 3, I think it was 2014. Everyone's like, oh, they're gonna three-peat. They're gonna three-peat. And then we lost to Mendon, and that just sets fire in your soul. I think for everyone, especially Halen. Halen gets away. Like when we were playing Gobles, and if you were to look at Halen before the game, you could just see his eyes that he's just ready to go. Like he's gonna run. He's gonna rush for 200 yards or whatever it is. Like you can just see in his eyes that he's ready to just play football. And I think everyone on the team has that. I mean, Peyton, Gruber, like everybody on the team has that feeling that like we have something to prove. Everyone's doubted us. I mean,
I've got to, from my observations, I've got to. My only advice to you guys is don't look beyond anybody.
No, for sure.
Don't start prepping for somebody else when
No.
you still got somebody to go.
You never know. For sure.
Don't do that. Don't look beyond anybody, and be the class of the field that you are, and be that. I mean, put a guy down, help him up, give him a hand, pull him up, but you still put him down
For sure.
But be the envy of everybody, not just because of your record, but also because of the way you conduct your business, and that makes you even better.
Yeah, for sure.
Better.
I think that's a big thing. I think we kind of know because I don't want like last year we started off the same way. Actually, we started off 3-0, 4-0. I think I don't know if we played Gobles week 5 or week 4, but I remember we started 3-0, and then we played Gobles and we lost, and then it's like okay, well, we kind of just like we're winning, and now you lose, and it's like well now we got something to prove. And it's almost like we just got accustomed, like, oh, we're winning, like, oh, well. But, like, this year, I feel like we're taking it 1 week at a time.
Good.
Week.
Don't just think by showing up.
No, for sure. Happen. And, yeah, we're also missing some key components, too. So, like, we had Gavin last year, quarterback, and then Halen as running back. But then now it's switched up. We got Seth as running back, and then it's Halen as quarterback. So it's definitely...
Seth has changed his game.
For
Seth
sure.
is going more
for sure
front back than to the side.
To the side.
He's bouncing. Bouncing
for
off
sure.
him. He's not going down first attempt. He's really stepped his game up.
He's really changed, and I think Seth is a hard runner, and when he gets going, it's hard to bring him down. But he's so worried about running into people that like he doesn't just go. He doesn't know when to just run and not turn around. But like we were playing. Like last week, he's broke off on a couple runs, and the entire time you can just see his head. He's like looking for a guy to hit. He's just looking for the next person, and which is good. He's trying to protect himself, but like you also just got to go. If you full speed, go ahead. But yeah, I think a lot of people, especially the M Live guys, did not think Halen could play quarterback, and I think he's proven everyone wrong. I think this team is the year of proving everyone wrong.
I didn't think Goebel was just thinking Hale was going to play until halftime in the JV game.
Yeah.
When he started throwing the rock around out there, and the varsity coach was there. It's like, I guess he's okay now. Because when he walked by me at the gate, he said, "It looks like Buell's playing." So I think the secret was out.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it for today, right?
I got nothing else.
Nothing else.
So thanks for joining us.
Thank you,
We
guys. I
appreciate it.
that.
Be tuned. It'll probably be out within the next hour, I'm sure. We got a pretty good production team. But if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel for weekly podcast updates and our TikTok and Instagram. Thanks for joining. Make sure you like it.
And subscribe to our YouTube too.
Yes.